Welcome back to Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valentia. We're almost to Rigel Castle, but we're not quite there yet. First, we gotta attack the last bastion.
This fortress is the last thing standing between us and Rigel Castle. Good news for us, but to them, it's their last line of defense. And men always fight hardest when their backs are to the wall. Let's take every precaution we can.
Right. We only get one chance. We'll make it count.
Marvelous! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of the Deliverance.
Slayde'ed?
Indeed, and I am dearly glad to see you again, boy. You really are full of surprises. To think a mere farm boy like you would become leader of the Deliverance. Or that you would now stand poised to claim the Rigelian Empire as well. It's the stuff of legends, this is. Simply astonishing.
Why are you here? Last I checked, you served to say.
True, but that was in a former life, when I was still a knight of Sophia.
What?
You lot ran me out of the castle thanks to that Claude de Say's incompetence. So, I defected to Rigel. Turncoat or no, they pay good coin for a noble's intelligence on the enemy. They were so grateful, in fact, they appointed me to captain this fortress. You lack even a modicum of shame, Slayde'ed. How dare you call yourself a noble after trading away your pride? Pride? Ha! Pride has never filled a man's belly or warmed him in the snow. And while we're speaking, Clyde, let me tell you this. I've always despised you. You and your pathetic platitudes. Pride this, honor that. Only a naif believes that righteousness will keep a man drawing breath. Which of us is truly naive, Slayde'ed? You're focused on naught but survival, yet survival to what end? With no core belief to steel your spine, you turn tail at every shadow. Men broken by life's unfairness, who cast all principle aside, will never triumph. You, Slayde'ed, will never know victory. We will not lose to the likes of you. Clive. Silence. Silence! This is merely the desperate barking of a cur faced down by a lion. Well, don't stand there. Attack! Paint the halls red with Sophian blood! Silence their lies, even if it means cutting the tongues from their mouths!
Okay, so, last bastion. This is quite the map. So, what should we start with? Well, first off, we've got archers, and guess what? These are actually anti-Pegasus archers now. So, we need to be careful of that. Next off, a while back you made a remark about, one of these side quests, the Alessio mission where you sell him steel spears. Well, here are the steel lances. That is actually a thing.
I legitimately forgot about that.
So, like, okay, I had to look this up, because, like, I was looking up the Alessio mission, and somebody on GameFAQ said that people in this mission have steel lances, and, like, this isn't super well documented to my knowledge, so that's why I was so insistent on doing the Alessio mission, but yeah, no, I successfully did that, and also, I checked a different LP to see, hey, do they have steel lances? And no, they didn't. So yeah, no, that's why Alessio's mission is timed, because if you don't do that mission before, well, I'd say now, but technically it's Duma's Tower. If you don't do that mission before Duma's Tower, then yeah, no, the Alessio just has nobody to sell to. It was his last chance.
What a weird fuck you thing in this game that's not really big on fuck you things.
So, I don't know how this would be on harder modes, but, like, it's not the biggest deal. it does add a little bit of damage to them, but it does fuck with their weight a bit, so it can be helpful in a certain regard. But yeah, no, it's so weird and out of nowhere that, like, one mission in this game actually has an effect on a battle. And it's a negative effect. Enemies have weapons where they didn't before. But that being said, though, yeah, no, the bigger issue in this chapter is absolutely the fact that, finally, people have anti-flyers. I mean, again, it's probably not the case in harder mode, but, like, no shit, it's harder mode, of course it's harder. But yeah, like, they actively prevent flyers from just going in and taking out all of the enemies in here. That's the main reason they have anti-flyers finally.
Tobin traded away his explosive-tipped arrows.
Yeah, I figured maybe Silver Bow might help a little more, just because, like, Blessed Bow doesn't really have much in the way of actual skills, though, to be fair, he has to learn anything on the Silver Bow. But, yeah, I figured just raw damage might be better than effects against terrors, which aren't present on this map. Which, to be fair though, Blessed Bows are also lighter, so it's a little harder to hit with Tobin now.
Hey, Python finally caught up.
Yep, he can be a Bow Knight now. Which, you know, it would be okay on this chapter. Or map. I keep doing that. But yeah, just because having mobility... You don't want to put him too far ahead, because if you do, he will be turned to ash by mages, but also, it would be nice if you could just position him differently than everybody else. Just get him ahead of the pack and just shoot from there. Boy, I really wish one of you would die. But I also kind of just wanted Delphia to not be killed. Actually, no, I think she was one space away from actually reaching that archer. I was about to say, she could have gone in and probably would have been fine. But yeah, no, I'm just playing it safe here. Alm's kind of in a risky position, but like, he's got HP to actually deal with that mage. Getting rid of the boss is just a good idea.
About to say, playing it safely aside from yeeting Alm directly into the enemy's castle.
If there's anybody who can be yeeted straight in there, it is probably Alm. Also Matilda. Probably slightly less Matilda, but she can survive okay.
Already forgotten. Who has the warp spell?
That is Silk.
Alright. So I'm just picturing Alm going like, alright, Silk, yeet time.
Oh, and that's just great. Now that guy's indoors. Alright, step 2. Kill this man. Unfortunately, for once, Matilda did not perform well. Which kinda sucks. If there's any chapter where I really need people to just get crits, it's this one.
I really need everyone to stop fucking around.
I need you all to be very dead. That way my flyers can actually do something. Oh, and Delphia can be a priestess. Again, not super helpful now, but whatever. And thankfully, Double Line, as always. Very good. Also nice. Oh no, that's available. That's a support we can do now. Well, instead of doing that, let's actually focus on the task at hand and try to Kill, if not the archers, then the mages. The mages... God damn it.
Damn it,
Tobin.
Tobin!
The mages are a threat to the guys trying to kill the archers, so, like... it's a very mixed bag. I mean, it is a pretty solid defense, though, just... I could kill the mages easily if I could send in flyers, but I can't send in the flyers because of the bow knights.
You can't easily kill the bow knights because of the mages.
Mm-hmm. You know, for having such a very limited selection of classes, they've got a good strategy going on. Clary, you just go over there.
Absolutely refuse.
So yeah, I probably could have played a little more risky here, just because, like, I don't think there's a bow knight in the center area anymore, so, like, I probably could have sent Claire into, the, second from the right. And that probably would have been fine. I don't remember bow ranges off the top of my head. And look, everything's moving too fast for me to count. Can't count squares? What are you talking about? You think I can count? Pfft, no.
I did think you get at least one counterattack in, but man, they were just assholes that round, weren't they?
Mm-hmm. Thankfully, there's one dead. Now, if it weren't for the fact that bow users can counter from close range, it would just be over. I would just send Faye in and kill that man. Well, I mean, I guess that does help survivability.
Alright, figuring out how to best utilize your limited options here.
Mm-hmm. What if I just killed you, though? What if I guaranteed you died? Oh, it's so nice seeing that red not be on the map anymore. Well, here I go killing. So yeah, once bow knights are gone, this becomes a bit easier. Once we get past this group, then we've got to deal with the more physically oriented units rather than the ranged ones, but that's just a matter of turtling, and that's just... you know how to turtle by now. Watch out for Slayde'ed, that's just about it. Alright, go Tobin. You got one in there at least. And for once, crit fishing actually succeeded. Alright, so, mostly safe except for that one guy that's just chilling out and eating. I guess it's apples. I was about to say oranges, but gotta remember that Rigel, being the rival of Zofia, they've gotta have apples instead. Do you think Berkut's just so mad because he has an apple addiction? Is that why he works as a foil to Alm? I love Sagittarian fast motion.
Now I'm just trying to think of, like, what fruit even grows in climates like this? Because, like, I know oranges are susceptible to frosts, so, like, that's probably why it's not just oranges all around.
Yeah, but I don't think apples thrive in the cold. Maybe Duma just made apples out of spite.
I did Google what fruit do they grow in Scandinavia. Apparently they do have apples there. And that's pretty cool.
Well, fair enough. Alright, well then. I guess they did their research. They also googled what fruits grow in Scandinavia.
It's just that thing of, like, I know the cold is bad for fruits, so, like, I don't know which ones are less bad.
Isn't it bad for all fruits? No. Speaking of bad, here we go, A rank of this conversation.
Gray.
What? You said to never speak to you again. So do I just walk away now, or what?
I may have been out of line. I had only just found out how close Alm and Celica are, and I was sorting through my emotions.
So, I'm next down the list?
No, I merely wanted to apologize for taking out my frustrations on you. I did not mean what I said, or at least not in the manner I said it. Will you forgive me? Honestly, I enjoy these talks of ours. And not because of the sweet nothings you whisper, but because, as clumsy as you are, I know you would never hurt a fly. You are a kind man, Gray, and you deserve better than me.
Look, I know this may sound like I haven't learned a damn thing, but
Yes?
I'm more in love with you than ever. Okay? There, I said it.
What?
I don't even care if you rebuke me. Hell, that almost makes it worse. You're the lady I've fallen for. Your eyes are like whirlpools.
Good heavens! You really haven't learned anything. But I think you deserve a proper answer this time, and so I shall consider it.
Well, alright then.
But yeah, no, okay, we're done with that one.
Sorry for that.
Remember when Claire told Gray to fuck off? That was fun. Fuck off, never speak to me again. I like that one.
I hope that bit was actually funny, because it just like, oh god, I don't know what to talk about. Hey, I do have an article in front of me.
I do like the discussion of fruit more than I like the Claire Gray support, so there's that. Okay, so everybody at this point is pretty much lining up to just do this.
Yep.
Also, goddamn.
I can do that too!
So yeah, that would've fucking sucked if that crit had just been the end of me. But thankfully, despite the fact that that guy is weighed down by a steel spear, but still got 2 attacks in, Lucas has enough HP and defense to survive a crit. But yeah, no, that's just the worst feeling of just... Alright, time for the easy part of the mission. Enemy crits at 2%.
I'm surprised he kept Lucas up there.
I mean, look, it's a 2% crit. This isn't Engage, he's got this. It can't happen again, statistically. It's so unlikely. And besides, basically all of my healers at this point, other than Silk, are ranged. Don't worry, Lucas, old buddy, I got this. I can crit him too.
This is just the crit corridor.
Well... Okay, I guess you can be a Baron now, at least. Alright, Lucas can hold lands. He is now officially a real noble. Okay, so yeah. Still on the fence about whether or not Steel Spears, like, screws you over. Cause, to be fair, 15 damage against Faye is bad for Faye, but, like, she's not the most offensive character, so, like, it's not a huge deal. Though also, it's clearly showing I'm a bit lacking in characters to tank over on this side.
Yeah, it's not debilitating, it's just weird that it has any negative effects at all.
And that's the only time this ever happens.
Yeah, none of the other quests have negative effects. Like, there might be one where, like, people argue over whether the reward is worth giving up the item or whatever, but nothing this blatant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if this were a game where you were constantly, like, selling to, like, shady merchants, and maybe they might give stuff to your enemy, like, that'd be one thing, but it's, like, it's really hard to get steel lances to Celica. So it's such a weird, obscure thing.
Impudent whelps, you'll regret this.
Alright, here comes Slayde'ed! I'm going to- oh shit. Was that a crit flash? Oh god.
I don't even need double
Oh
lion.
no, that's a special animation. Fuck.
That was a single lion.
Alright, and that's Slayde'ed. Yeah, that was only one lion. One ordinary lion, and that took you down, Slayde'ed. Alright, well, that's Slayde'ed over and done with. If you played Fire Emblem Gaiden and you were like, what happened to Slayde'ed? Whatever. Where did that guy go after the Battle of Zofia? Because I didn't kill him, but he just vanished. Well, Echoes is here to answer that question. He sells himself out and goes over to Rigel, vanishes for a vast majority of the game, and then dies immediately when you find him again. He was, in fact, the least threatening thing in his final chapter. And he's not even the last guy we killed, we've just got 2 more randos to take care of. But anyway, yeah, no, like, in general, it's really rare for a reward in this game to, like, do that much. Like, normally it's just, hey, you get an item, not, hey, a thing in battle is actually effective. Or affected, rather. It's not like I did, like, one mission, and then suddenly several enemies vanish. No, that doesn't usually happen. I guess one thing I do have to wonder about, I don't know how experience values work in this game. My assumption is, like, it's just based on, like, what class you're fighting. But I wonder if, like, weapons or items, are included in that value? I actually legitimately don't know. I don't usually look up experience values in Fire Emblem.
My guess would be no.
Yeah, that's what I would assume, but it would be interesting if you could at least, like, get some extra experience for Ulm by doing a Celica side quest. Alright, there we go. So that's that mission over and done with. There goes Slayde'ed.
That was a fine victory.
And we'll never speak of him again. But of course, I did just get a whole bunch of promotions, so... Rigel Castle is in sight, but let's head back to the shrine.
Salutations, I seem down. Oh, not at all. Not at all. I simply miss my manor in Sofia. My parents, my nursemaid, the ladies-in-waiting and servants. I wonder what they're all doing right now. If they knew I was washing my own hands before supper, and a supper of dried fish at that, they would simply keel over in shock. Oh, but it would be fun to look fine for a change and attend a grand ball. Do you dance, Alm? Oh, I see. Well, never fear. You can learn from me. That is to say, well, when the war is over, I was wondering if we might have a dance. Just one dance. It would mean so very much to me.
I was badly injured when I washed up on Valentia's shores from some other land. Tatiana was the one who found me and took me in. She tended to my wounded body and comforted my broken spirit. It baffled me how one might go so far to aid a complete stranger. But I would not be alive if not for it. She is the reason I still exist at all. So, I forgive her for occasionally rubbing sea salt in my wounds instead of salve.
Alright, so, statue time. Let's change a class. Got 3 characters to go over. First off... Great, 1 HP.
I just want the cape,
As you know, I'm not a noble, and quite frankly, I don't plan on doing anything with this title.
Is Lucas not noble?
Whatever it takes to see the task through.
Oh, sorry, Forsyth.
Oh.
I was jumping the gun, I'm thinking about Forsyth. Forsyth still doesn't get to be a Baron yet. He will be, though. Now, I do plan on exercising my power alm, but Bow Knights aren't. That's not like a noble title.
If this is what you want.
No, it is now. I'm gonna flaunt this thing.
I just gained the power to summon a horse. Don't tell me that ain't useful.
Do you have a horse alm? No? Didn't think so. Oh, good God, we've given the child a sword.
Let me see what you have.
A sword!
No!
How do I look?
She said, sword pointed at
I
you.
look awesome.
And she will recover when she accidentally stabs herself with a sword.
Alright, so that's it. I'm going to resist all temptations to fight more enemies, which is a thing I definitely want to do right now. Totally want to fight these small groups of guys. Definitely. Such a sorrow that I cannot. Oh well. Anyway, we have finally killed Slayde'ed. I'm sure everybody was maybe not waiting for that, but, you know, pleased with the idea of doing so. And with that, the road to Rigel Castle is open. Next time on Fire Emblem Echoes, we're gonna kill the Emperor. Hello, Regicide.